Let's go ahead to Group D. Wednesday, 12:45 p.m. Eastern. This one might be in the running for match of the week, right alongside those other matchups that we looked at. BK Häcken on 7 points. They host Paris FC, new ITC. I don't know, like we're batting our eyes at Paris FC as one of the new ITC favorite squads.
Sure.
Like they're playing a sick brand of football right now. They currently sit third in Group D, still very much alive, 6 points. A point behind BK Häcken. What are you looking for in this one?
What an embarrassment of riches in the city of Paris. I mean, probably not the first guy to have this take. Pretty nice city, good food, I would say. Although I liked all the other restaurants that were not French food. Please, anybody listening in beautiful France, please don't crush me for that. Maybe I was going to the wrong places, but I was able to get good other cuisine there. Wasn't a huge fan of French food. Might be my unsophisticated American palate. I could take the blame for that one. But yeah, Paris FC and PSG in the same city. Come on, man. That's a lot of good football being played. I think you're right. Paris FC and Häcken, another certified cracker, could be another great match. And Paris FC, they have to play it like it's a must win. Paris FC, they're not going to be able to reach the quarterfinals if they lose and Chelsea beat Madrid. And I think Chelsea beating Madrid is very live. We'll get to that later. So I think Paris FC has to play like a must win. On the short list of clubs that I want to watch play matches that kind of feel like a must win, I think Paris FC is up there. In the reverse fixture on match day 1, Paris dominated possession 60-40, but the back four of Häcken's Katarina Kosola, Josephine Riebrink, Ivy Lewick, and Elma Juntila Nelhag, they held up brilliantly. They got a couple of goals from a pair of 20-year-old midfielders, Rosa Kafaji, who we talked about a lot. She's an excellent young player, and Anna Sandberg. But again, maybe this is just the two French sides from Paris showing up fashionably late. I would say Paris FC looks like a little bit of a different squad moving forward. You know, they played Lyon close just the other week, and those giant killers at Paris FC, they're not going to go into any match scared. So I think we're in for another good one.
100% agree. You commented maybe after that Lyon match, talk about Ulhosi and Selena, about her having that dog in them. I think the whole squad's got a little bit of that flavor to them, and their backs against the wall as well. If they lose to Häcken here, they wouldn't be able to catch Häcken. They'd be 4 points behind going into match day 6. So they'd have to catch Chelsea.
There you go. Come on.
Bit of a tall order, right? So
yeah.
You don't want to be in that position. I think we're going to see everything they got in this one. Now, on the other side, Häcken obviously been playing great. What a story that would be if their fingerprints are all over having eliminated Real Madrid and then kill the giant killers, Paris FC, and then advance alongside the Chelsea side. They might actually be able to grab that top spot in this group even. You know, they're only a point behind Chelsea with 2 matches to go, which would match them up against a second place team from another group. So imagine that. If you're sitting at home and you had Häcken coming out of Group D ahead of a Chelsea, Paris FC, and Real Madrid, props to you. You're doing better than some other gambling podcast that may or may not exist on the internet.
I would say so. I'm not sure what the odds would have been on that. I'm going to guess relatively long.
Agreed. Very pumped about this one. This one's going to be wild. In the other Group D affair, Chelsea on 8 points. They can punch their ticket to the quarters with a win over already eliminated Real Madrid. At home, Stamford Bridge. Madrid sitting on 1 point, already eliminated. Not a whole lot to play for. So we'll see what happens here. Maybe a little bit of the same vibes with Chelsea maybe running out some second teamers or some first teamers. Or maybe they just kind of want to go ahead and punch their ticket, call it a day, and start getting prepped for the quarters.
That seems like it would be the MO of Emma Hayes and frankly a lot of the players on the squad. You think Aaron Cuthbert is going to be like, no, Gaffer, I'll just sit this one out. I think it might be a good day for me to take it easy. Like, probably not. I'm always interested by matches like this because, you know, Chelsea, they're going to be coming off the much smaller, less accomplished club in Manchester, those Red Devils. And again, no shade to them. My beef is with a different Manchester United, but I digress. Manchester United is sitting at 4th in the table in WSL right now. Chelsea plays them on Sunday, so they'll be coming off of that match. But I think if you're Emma Hayes and Chelsea, you want to get a win over Real Madrid because you're playing Real Madrid at Stamford Bridge. Mm-hmm. There has to be something special about that. That has to be a thing. So no matter where you are in the group stage, no matter who you put on the pitch, that has to weigh somewhere in your mind when you are wearing those blues and you're going up against the all whites, Las Blancas. I think that has to be somewhere in the back of everybody's mind. What I wanted to toss to you is you also need to get some things right with Mia Fischel or Aggie Beaver Jones to get them a little more comfortable in that number 9 role now that Sam Kerr is injured. But this is what I really wanted to run by you. I think this is right up your alley. Here is a recent quote from Emma Hayes about that number 9 spot. Quote, Lauren has a great goal threat. She has the ability to do that, but it's important we're able to stretch beyond her if she's able to play that role. Speaking about Lauren James, the quote continues, quote, getting those combinations right is important. Mia, Lauren, and even Aggie will all play their part in that 9 role. But equally, Lauren dropped into a 10 role in the second half, and she was instrumental in our performance, talking about their last game. Lauren James, and it felt like conceptually she was a little bit number 9 in that match against West Ham. Lauren James as a number 9. Dino is this podcast's foremost Lauren James expert and admirer, even with me being an England fan and me loving the way she plays. I cede the floor to you, because how does that pique your interest?
Peaks it big time. I think it's riveting stuff, because when we were doing our 2023 starting 11s, I went back and watched a lot of World Cup. Lauren James felt like a different player in the World Cup.
Yep.
It kind of felt like she was a little bit of a wild card. At Chelsea, she's got a little bit more of a defined role. And now it kind of feels like that's loosening up a little bit with the injury to Sam Kerr. Now we're like, okay, Lauren James, early 20s, not yet in her prime, still off the fucking charts as a footballer. What's possible here?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of what we're seeing. Even with the second part of Emma Hayes' quote, Lauren dropped into a 10 role in the second half, and she was instrumental in our performance. I had her as my number 10 in my starting 11 just because I'm like, I want to see that. I want to see like her, she can obviously do everything. Her brain moves super fast and her body's in perfect lockstep with what her brain wants to do, which is why she's so unbelievable. So she could do anything. If you put her there, she's going to be productive. If you keep her on the wing, she's going to be productive. Now, I think ultimately, because of the U.S. women's national team connection, I think we see probably Fischel in that 9. And I think maybe her kind of like priming the pump a little bit, talking about with Lauren James as a number 10.
Sure.
And then that keeps Wrighton and Cannerud on the wings as options there. And then you figure out what to do with Aggie and, just kind of keep that rotation. We're at the point in the season, we talked about this last week with the Millie Bright discussion, where it's workshop time.
Yep.
It's let's figure out what we're doing. We're not quite in prime time with the Champions League. There's still ways to go in WSL. So now is really the time to kind of start sorting these things out.
How much money can they give her to coach the men's side too? Can you do both?
Yeah. I mean, just women at 2, men 4:30 p.m. Let's go. Just cycle them in.
I think you're exactly right. And I think she is the exact manager. I mean, she has the credibility to workshop all of it. I love the point about Lauren James. Wherever you put her, I mean, you could put her at fucking holding midfielder if you wanted to and be like, hey, can you start the offense from back there? And she could do it. And I've seen her take the ball off plenty of players. She could do whatever you want. I guess it's just a matter of in what match. You've seen this with other kind of really skilled players. Who comes to mind? Like Rachel Daly is like a great striker for England, can be a great striker for England, is a great striker for Aston Villa, and then she plays left back a lot of times for the English national team also. You see that with Crystal Dunn. Like for Lauren James, it's what matchup facilitates, can you get an extra 5% out of her at number 9? Or does this match mean you'll get an extra 5% out of her if she's playing number 10 or on the left wing? It's hard to say. If she's capable of playing 3 positions really well, she has to play one of them slightly better than the other 2. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, 100%. And I think the reason why I like her more on the left wing or in a number 10 spot is because she can score from distance.
Hell yeah.
So it's sort of like the Steph Curry corollary, like when you could shoot from half court.
Yep.
They got to defend you out there. And now you can drive, you can shoot, you can pass, or you can restart the sequence all over again.
Exactly.
When you play her at number 9, you kind of take that away.
Yeah.
She's so front and center, just to kind of rewind to a PSG comp. That's why I love Katoto as their number 9, because she's just so opportunistic. She's big, she's strong, she's tough, and she just finishes anything and everything that's lingering around there. It's like, oh, she'll clean it up, boom, back of the net. So she's got the FIFA comparison. You put Katoto somewhere else, her rating's going to drop quite a bit. Lauren James less so because she's so versatile. But I just love the long distance threat that Lauren James provides, which I think that's kind of what's so tantalizing about having her on the wing or in that number 10 spot.
Yeah. And I'll just say quickly, I mean, I would imagine to any Real Madrid fan looking at this being like, are these fucking assholes going to talk about this match and not talk about Real Madrid? We're Real Madrid. So I'll just say They're not going to come out there and lay down. To the point, maybe it's crappy analysis. They're fucking Real Madrid. They're going to go out there and they're going to play. Olga Carmona is going to come out there, and she's not going out there for cardio. They're going out there to win the match at Stamford Bridge. They have other fish to fry, obviously trying to keep up in Liga F, which is a tall order in itself. But yeah, I'm with you. Who's going to be in the squad? Who might be rotated? It'll be interesting to see.
I was going to make this point earlier. With all the player movement that we're seeing,
Yep.
and then even within the Champions League sides, you see a player go from United to Lyon. I think there is something to a matchup between two of Europe's biggest brands.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a young player in the Dutch league, or you're a Korean or Schluter or something, and you're looking to make, some kind of move, you're looking at these sides and you're kind of like, well, if you're Real Madrid, you don't want to go out and get smacked. You want to play with pride. They have the talent. This tournament just happened to not break their way. These 4 first group stage matches, they were in all 4 matches. But again, they still sit on just the 1 point and already eliminated. But there is the free agency player movement part. Those are real stakes. This tournament might be over. Liga F, obviously still not over, but they are going to be in that market for players. And, you want to have good showings when there are a lot of eyeballs on you. And obviously Champions League, it doesn't get a bigger audience than that.
Yeah. Totally right. So I think it should be a spirited affair either way. And these teams, they got a little chippy with each other on match day 1. There were some controversial calls in that 2-2 draw to open the proceedings here in the group stage. So I think you nailed it with playing with pride. I think we'll see a lot of that.